Hey guys, so I wanted to talk about some things that I found interesting again. So I wanted to talk about the Kardashev scale today, and this is basically categorizing types of civilizations through how much energy that they use. And I mentioned this in my previous video about the Fermi paradox, so I just kind of wanted to build on it today. The scale itself was originally designed in 1964 by a Russian astrophysicist named Nikolai Kardashev, and it has three base classes, each with an energy disposal level. Type 1 being 10 to the power of 16 watts being used, Type 2 is 10 to the power of 26 watts being used, and Type 3 is 10 to the power of 36 watts being used. The first type of civilization that we're going to be covering is a planetary civilization, and this is a civilization that has achieved the ability to harness all of its planet's resources in a very efficient way. And that is not us yet, because you could tell this to people and they'll say that, like, aren't we a planetary civilization? But to achieve that, you'd have to be almost a utopia of a civilization. I'd say type 1 civilization is almost like what most people would picture as just a utopia, that nobody's hungry, everybody has energy, clean water, all that good stuff, and you could basically just focus on improving rather than fighting with each other. And I think that is what a type 1 civilization would be. And so, you describe that, and it's kind of cool to think about it, because it's not really that is a goal that is in reach. And you could kind of say that about type 2, which is what we're going to be talking about next. So let's get on to that. And with that, the type 2 civilization is a stellar civilization. And this means that you'd be able to harness and control the power and energy of your sun, along with the energy of your entire solar system. And so you could do that with us is a Dyson sphere, and I mentioned that in my last video. It is an idea of a machine or a swarm of machines that you use to either enclose the sun completely, or you orbit it with a whole bunch of, let's just call them satellites, and you use these satellites to go around the sun and collect energy. But you have so much that you could visually see it from afar. Like, you could, let's say this, if you had a Dyson sphere, you can position it in a way, or a Dyson swarm. If you had a Dyson sphere, it enclosed the entire sun, and you'd just be taking the entire sun's energy along with the light. But if you had a Dyson swarm, you can position those satellites in a way where they orbit the sun at the right time to where they don't take away light from your planet. But you have the option to really dim your sunlight, enhance the sunlight by reflecting it off the satellites that collect the energy. You can shoot. When you enhance the sunlight, you can shoot basically just super enhanced. You're basically redirecting the light and radiation towards the planet, and effectively make like a laser beam. If it, in a simple terms, that it wouldn't really be a laser, but it'd just be like a beam of radiation. You know what I mean? And I think that's really cool, a type 2 civilization. And that's why I like talking about aliens, man, is because all these ideas that pop up, and it's good thought experiments, man. I like to think about what could be out there. And last but not least for today is a type 3 civilization. And this type of civilization is a galactic civilization, being able to control and harness the power of its entire galaxy. And Kardashev explains this as approximately using 10 to the power of 36 watts of energy, and that's equivalent to the total output of the entire galaxy. And a type 3 civilization is just so massive that they'd have reach across the entire galaxy. They'd be you wouldn't see just one Dyson sphere. You'd see thousands of Dyson spheres, being able to control and manipulate the path of all these stars and effectively turning your galaxy into like a mobile, not even a mobile. That's a lot to think about. You know, it's just what if you can harness the power of your entire galaxy by association, or just inferring the type of technology you have, you'd be able to move across the galaxy either at light speed or close to light speed. You'd be able to harness the powers of stars so efficiently that you just go to solar system to solar system, taking the energy by energy. And so you might be able to move your entire solar system. You might be able to do all that crazy stuff. And you know, and that's just, I think it's kind of crazy. The best way to describe a Type 3 civilization is the Galactic Empire. The Galactic Empire almost became a Type 3 civilization before, you know, Luke Skywalker stopped all that. But I also wanted to talk about a couple other things relating to the Kardashev scale that I think is kind of cool. According to livescience.com, there's this binary star called VVV-WIT-08 that exhibits strange behavior, where the star dimmed, nearly disappeared, and then brightened back to its normal brilliance over the course of 6 months. And so this is a star that was in the talking point that people were talking about a while ago. And if you watched a couple science YouTubers talk about Dyson spheres or Dyson swarms, they probably mentioned this star. And it's really, I think it's really cool. I think it gives us hope that maybe there is something out there doing things to manipulate the universe that we can see. Because, as I said before, maybe aliens don't use the same technology that we use, and maybe aliens are just so weird that we couldn't really explain them. But seeing energy disappear like that and then come back, you know, as the scientist that said, as Philip Lucas said, the scientist that was there, it said it's really quite unusual, and it's not something that we've seen before. And something that we have never seen before is always something that sparks interest in my eyes. And so with that, I'm gonna leave y'all until I find something else to talk about. And thank you guys for watching, and I hope y'all have a nice New Year's.